Hi, this is Stephen Rosie, PGA Professional, Glenbervie Golf Club, and welcome to the return of the lockdown diaries. And we're all back home here, not so much for COVID, but more of the snow today. You can see a pretty snowy back garden here. So we're going to continue on with our theme of using household items to help us improve our golf. I'm joined by a very special guest today, who you can see is just outside waiting to join us here. And there you are, you can see the fruits of this morning's homeschooling labours. So before we start, if you like what you see and you'd like to find out a little bit more, remember to like, subscribe and do all the things you need to do underneath here, and we'll get cracking. I'm going to show you a very simple drill that will help you to get your left hand onto the golf club in a much more effective manner. And this drill will be particularly useful for those that have a left to right ball flight, and those who may well be looking for a little bit more speed, a little bit more club head speed. And the object I'm going to use today, something we've all got lying around that's going to be redundant for some time. I'm going to use a suitcase. So stay tuned, I'll show you how. So as I say, this drill is going to help you if you need a little bit more club head speed, if you've got a left to right ball flight, and the other thing it may well help with, if you're prone to wearing a hole in your glove in and around here, high up in the palm of your hand there. That's often a sign that your hand's not in maybe in the most effective place on the golf club here. So very simple, we're going to use the handle of the suitcase to help us get an idea of how the club should sit in the left hand. So very quickly, place the suitcase just by your side here, reach down, lift the suitcase, and I'm just going to turn this round so you can actually see here. When I've gone to grab and lift the suitcase here, it's predominantly held in my fingers from there. So we'll just do that once more very quickly. So just beside you, you can reach down, lift it up, and then if you change that around there, you can see if I bring it round to the front there, you can see I've almost formed the shape of a grip there with that as well. So dead simple, but it'll certainly give you a nice feel and the look of what the club should be like in your left hand. Some of the logic behind this here, if the club sits nicely in your fingers, and you can see we've got it here, hand closes over. If you notice there, we've got a little bit of an angle in here. I'm just going to push this down so you can see it a little bit further. So we've got a little bit of an angle in here. Now, with the club sitting in the fingers, if you watch here, the wrist can move a little bit more than it can if it's sitting in the palm. If I make that now, you can see if I just show you that again there, that there's no real angle in here now. And it's much more difficult to get that wrist to move up your thumb, to move back towards your forearm a little bit there. And that ultimately is going to cost you a little bit more speed there. And that might be something you can try yourself there. Just make sure the club drops a little bit lower into your fingers, and then you'll feel that there's much more range of motion in your wrist. It's able to support the weight of the club much more as well. High in the palm, not only does it rub in here, but also it's really difficult to get that club off the ground there. And when you put that into a golf swing, you can see it's going to be really difficult to get that club turning upside down. The movements that we talked about in the previous episode there as well. So just in summary then, we're looking for the golf club to sit more or less from the middle of your index finger and maybe just to just the base of your pinky there, and that should give you probably the maximum amount of wrist motion and help you generate a little bit more speed. Now in reality, we could be a little bit up from that, or could be a little bit down from that. There's a little bit of personal preference within this as well. So give it a try, get the suitcase, give it a little try, grab a golf club so it's sitting beside there, and move from one to the other, and hopefully you'll feel that slightly better left hand position. So there you are folks, how we can use a suitcase to improve the position of our left hand in the club, generating a little bit more speed, and also perhaps helping to cure a left to right ball flight. So if you enjoyed this and you'd like to see a wee bit more, please remember to like, subscribe. And this is Stephen Rosie, PGA Professional, Glenbervie Golf Club, signing off from this edition of the return of the lockdown diaries. Hope everyone stays safe, and we'll hopefully see you back at Glenbervie before too long.